Hey, y'all, guess what? It is Soul Sister Sunday, and
Huh?
Nicole and I are back and we're ready. We just wrapped up episode 9. We are
Wait,
on the move. Yes.
was it
No,
10?
I think it was 9. She said 10, but aren't we on 9?
No
I
anymore.
think we're on 9. She said 10.
Okay, we're on 9.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So this is what really happens behind the scenes, y'all. Sometimes we even get lost in where we
No.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that was 10.
we on 10.
Anyway, I absolutely loved it. Y'all know I'm
Time
always
flies when you're having fun,
it
right?
does. And I'm always talking about the energy that our guest brings. And I'm just so thankful, for each and every person that has joined us to this point right
Yeah,
now. They are a part of our beginning, started from the bottom that we here. I mean, we getting
yeah.
there. We're not here yet, but we getting
Right,
there.
right,
And I just
yes.
really enjoyed it. I love some of the things that she shared with us. Nicole, what was a
Mhm.
highlight for you?
So the highlight for me is her going into the correctional settings
Mhm.
and teaching the people in custody how to braid. And I wasn't quite sure if it was just women or if it was men as well.
Mhm.
But not only does she do that piece of teaching them how to braid, but they also journal.
Mhm.
And there's something so spiritual about that. There's something very spiritual about braiding in general and the cornrows and the history behind that, and it's a very loving space that you're in. And then to go and journal and reflect on your life after
Yes.
being in that space or after they've learned how to braid, I
Mhm.
just feel like it's so impactful. And in my mind, if I were in that unfortunate space of being incarcerated, somebody coming in, teaching me how to
Mhm.
braid, again, that very intimate space of like being in someone's hair
Yeah.
and then journaling about my life, journaling about my experiences, I would feel impacted by that. And so
Yeah.
I really appreciated her talking about the freedom braiders.
Yeah. So it started out as a pilot program, and it is for the female inmates only. At
Okay.
this point, it started with them going over to San Francisco County, and
Oh,
from San Francisco County, they went over to Alameda County at Santa
wow.
Rita.
Yep.
It's just it's awesome. And she has like these clips on her social media where it shows, her and some of the other freedom braiders,
Yeah.
getting themselves together. If they were catching the BART over to San Francisco,
Mhm.
or if they were walking up, the path to Santa Rita and then
Yeah.
getting in there and, just kind of teaching the students. And so, you can see some of the doll heads, the writing on
Yeah.
on the board. But for me, I was so proud of her in real life, right?
Right.
I was so proud of her for what she decided to do with her time because, like she expressed during the session, is that her time is very limited. Her plate is full.
Right.
And as we know biblically, when we have an overflow, when our cup runneth
Yeah.
over in abundance, only at that point are we able to pour ourselves into others. And she takes the time to be able to go and pour herself into others outside of her household that she's
Right.
pouring into on a daily basis. And so I'm super proud of that. And not only that, but as you're talking about on so many levels, the intimacy of braiding and, what that does for us historically. But for these individuals, some of them who never knew how to braid,
Right.
now if they are getting ready to go into their sentence, they now have something that they can do and make a little bit money on the side for themselves. They don't have to wait until they
Mhm.
come home. They can do that
Right.
there and then come home
Oh,
and get
yeah.
into, the actual business of it. And so I like
Yeah.
that.
I also love the fact that is it CDCR that they now
No, Department of Rehabilitation.
that's what they go by now.
Yeah,
So the
no, not
department
CDCR. No, no, the DOR. It's separate from the CDCR.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so the Department of Rehabilitation actually funds or sponsors the education for folks who are returning to the community, and that is the true rehabilitation side of things,
Yes.
right? So not only are people serving whatever sentence based on the crime they've been convicted of, but they are also being rehabilitated to hopefully prevent them from coming back into the system.
Mm.
Employment is one of the biggest barriers or hurdles that folks have to overcome when they are returning to the community. So, like what you said, having that skill set and then having Department of Rehabilitation covering the cost for them to further their skill
Yeah.
set, get licensed, and have the opportunity to work for themselves or work for someone else. I just think that's absolutely amazing. And that should serve as a model because, like I mentioned in the show, in New York, that was not the case.
Mhm.
Folks who had a background couldn't even get a license that, omitted having some criminal involvement and being adjudicated for a crime, they would have been prohibited from actually going into a trade and that now construction would have been fine, but cosmetology wasn't, and I never understood that, so I'm so glad to hear that it's different in California.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the other thing that I really I love to hear her to speak on the integrity, that she carries when someone sits behind her chair, especially a young adult or a child, making sure that their education is on point, making sure that their respect level is on point. And I tell you, side note, Tracy is quick with that comb. I've seen her pop a few of them, like not just move a hand, but like, what you say that for? It's like she's that person. So if anyone's ever grew up with, don't talk to Miss So and so crazy down the
Yep.
street because she already has permission to whoop you. Well, Tracy don't even need the permission. She just gonna get you in line real
We
quick.
need more Tracys. I
Right,
mean,
right.
we need more Tracys, and quite frankly, when this new generation that comes out, they don't wanna work, they wanna have multiple days off, they need the mental
Mhm,
health break, they need all the things, and, listen, I'm not here to judge it either way, but to have that real discipline,
mhm,
work ethic that she talks about, I feel like she's the perfect person to teach those kids
yeah.
that or even the adults who are
Yeah,
coming into the
and she
field.
speaks their language, and so
Yes.
she's in the right environment. So at the barber
Mhm.
college, at the barber battles, I mean, she
Yeah.
speaks the language of the youth.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's important because sometimes we might have a good message, but if it's not in the tone that one wants to hear it, if it's
Right.
not in the language that one wants to hear it, the message
Yeah,
in and of itself is going to be lost. And so I think that
absolutely.
it's awesome to be able to have a charismatic attitude in any setting. And I mean, and that's from corporate to classrooms to boardrooms and back
Absolutely.
down into barbershops and cosmetology places.
Yep,
It's important to speak
absolutely.
the language of the
And
people.
the fact, I guess, as a final thought, is that it's attainable. So if there are any of those young people who are like, I don't really see myself going to college, but I don't know what I want to do. That is the kind of the purpose of this series that
Mhm.
there are alternative paths to success and success is not just does not look one way. So when she says be true to who you are, that may mean that you have to stand up to people who say, "What do you mean you're not going to go to do this or go to do that? This is what we want you to do." Once you get to the age where you can say in a respectful way, this is what I want to do. This is what
Right.
works for me. That's what we're here for. That's why we wanted to have this
Yeah.
series about education and different opportunities that
Yeah.
exist. As a
Nicole,
final
I
yeah,
know
but
you
wait, let
might wanna
me ask
know.
you. Wait, go ahead. What'd you say?
Did you know that I actually hold an esthetician license?
I did not know that.
I do.
Hold on.
Yeah, back in 2009, is when I earned the certification.
No.
My first and only setup was actually at, Custom Stuff phase 2, her shop out in Hayward.
Ooh,
Yeah, and so I was there for just a short amount of time, and like she
yeah.
said, just from a hustle standpoint, we have to be able to put irons in more than just the
Yes.
one fire, and I'm not active in it, haven't done a facial or a body scrub in many, many, many years.
Right.
However, I am still licensed, and if any
What?
troubles
Okay.
away, I could get in there.
I love that. I love that. And, speaking of the aesthetic, can we do a vibe check? Because I am loving that shirt. And you wear your polka dots and you wear your, what is this? What is this called? Oh, it's a
It's
tie.
it's a
Okay,
tie.
got you.
Yeah, it's a
Because,
bow. So,
sometimes it's like a little
like a
frilly thing. Okay.
oh, no,
Let's
no,
do
no, no,
the
no, no.
vibe check.
So today, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, right? But this here, it reminds me of Granny, because she always
Oh,
wanted to wear a top that covered her neck.
Okay.
She didn't like her neck, but that's okay. It was so beautiful. And then she liked shirts that would have a tie. So if her shirt
Oh,
didn't actually have some sort of ribbon attached to it, she would take
yeah.
a scarf and she would take that scarf and she would tie it around her neck.
Ah,
And if you ever
yes.
paid attention to her, she did that even with
Yep,
her t-shirts. I mean,
yep.
the vacation t-shirts, souvenir t-shirts, and people brought her back. And so today I'm channeling my inner Nita. So
Okay, Nita.
there you go. How about
Well,
you?
I
You look
love it.
so beautiful with your boardroom baddie setup.
My boardroom baddie self. Yeah, that's what I was feeling today. Just feeling like, we're about business. We're about to talk to business-minded business owner, and I'm here to soak up all the game, and I just wanted to come and be my best self. And I had some other things that I was doing earlier too. So there's that. But, this series has, really has shown me just how much people really appreciate this
I
information.
know.
And especially on our social media, you guys can find us on Instagram at the Upshaw Sisters Official. Check us out there. We have so much content. We have a whole community of folks who are chatting with us and giving us feedback. Also, in our YouTube, we have videos. We have a lot of folks who are giving us feedback. And so we are almost at 100 subscribers on our YouTube, and we would love for you all to share this video or one of your favorites that you have. Share it with your family, share it with a close friend, get them to subscribe. We're
Mhm.
almost there, and we want to make it to that 100 mark by the end of this month. So let's see where we can get. But we do appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for continuing to tune in.
Thank you.
And on that note, you guys stay in the light and keep it on the up and up.